I have decided to present on my accumulation of houseplants over the past year and a half or so. So here you can see the high-level overview of the entire corpus. And then we jump in here and we have the title, so Domestic Jungle, A Journey Through Houseplants, and then a breakdown of each of the respective sections that I will be focusing on, which include a flora timeline, a global view, care tips, and local nurseries where you can buy your own plants if you get inspired. So to get started, here is the flora timeline, which outlines, which plants I got and when over the past year and a half or so. So to get started, we can look here at the first entry, which is in October of 2020, when I got my first spider plant, which was the Bonnie spider plant. So that's the type of spider plant, and Bonnie is indicative of these kind of curls that you see here. And I annotated this image here to highlight this section up here, which has what are called pups. So I explain what those are here in this annotation. These are pups. You can cut them, place their nodes in water, and create new plants from them. If we continue on, you can see in November through March, I was away from Providence, so I didn't get any more plants. So there is a temporal jump to April 2021, when I got a golden pothos and a Monstera deliciosa. And on this one, I highlighted the center portion of this image, and I explain that this is a moss pole, which provides structural support to the Monstera if its stems get too leggy, which means that the stems get kind of too long to support the leaves on their own. If we go over to May here, I got a Chinese money plant, a frizzle sizzle, a rickrack cactus, and a spider plant vitatum. This one has some sentimental value to it because, as you can see from this annotation, I inherited this from a friend, and his name is Willis. This name was given to the plant by that friend. Coming back here to the timeline, in June of 2021, I got a Stromanth Trio Star, a Bird's Nest Fern, Jade, Dieffenbachia Camouflage, Marble Queen Pothos, and a Miranda Prayer Plant, which here I again annotated the image to explain why it's called a prayer plant. I tell you here that the leaves fold up at night when it has less access to light, and then they fold down during the day when they have more access to light. So it kind of looks like praying hands, which is where that name comes from. Then back here in the timeline, we jump to July of 2021. I got an angel wing begonia, Syngonium albo, ponytail palm, string of turtles, pothos silvery Ann, money tree, jade pothos, and Calathea orbifolia. And then after that is when I got cut off by my roommates. I had too many plants at this point. So this section actually does link into the next section, which I will go into, but to give you a little bit of taste, here on the money tree, if I click there, I follow a link over here to the global perspective, and it highlights this note down here, saying you'll find many varieties of begonias as well as money trees in Central America. And if I click on that, you can see that it highlights Central America on the map. So very, very nifty organization there. So, but jumping back into the, arrangement of the presentation, we go back here to center ourselves again and then go into the global view where I just was. So inside here, I have this map, which is highlighted different colors to show the different biomes in the world. So you can kind of get a sense of, where certain biomes exist, and thus you can come to expect which kinds of plants might be coming from there. And all of the plants from the previous section are noted here in one of these little sticky notes, which are linked to portions of the map here. So I can quickly go through to give you a quick sense of, where they're coming from. So Florida is home of the pothos, the monstera, ponytail palm, and rickrack cactus come from southern Mexico. Then I already talked about Central America. The Amazon is home to a lot of different kinds of tropical plants. Then the Dieffenbachia is from the West Indies, spider plants, and frizzle sizzle from southern Africa, and then jade and Mozambique. And finally, we have a few plants from Southeast Asia and China, which are outlined here, but that's a bit nitty gritty, so I won't go too in depth there. And then coming back to our landing page, the next section that we will be going into is care tips. So here I have a couple of nested collections. So I have different types of documents here, including PDFs and temporal media as well. So to start, we have this PDF here, which is a plant care guide, which kind of gives you a rough overview of how to care for your plants. And I did some notation here to link to specific parts of the document here, talking about how you can use, um, grow lights if you don't get 12 to 16 hours of light per day, like this recommends for your plants. And then talking about how I, instead of watering my plants on a prescribed cadence, I instead just feel the soil with my finger to get a sense of whether it's ready for a new watering or not. Then this document here is another PDF, which again has these annotations inside the tab here. And specifically, I want to take note of this one, which is a marquee selection. This is linked to this note here. And I actually experienced this exact kind of response in my Calathea orbifolia, this kind of burning of the leaves, which is, as explained here, a result of the lead and fluoride that might be present in your tap water. So this document is a bit more scientific, a bit more focused on the biology of the plants themselves, and is really useful for giving you an explanation as to why a plant might be responding in a certain way. So I use this a lot as well. Highly recommend. Over here, I just have the temporal media sub collection here inside the Care Tips collection. This is a podcast from Jenna Marbles where she talks about some of the plants that she has with her husband Julian. And then over here, I have a video that I actually watched when I propagated avocados. And I put a link in, I put an annotation here that's linked to this specific section of the video where I mentioned that this vase that he's holding, I actually was able to find that exact vase at West Elm here in Providence. Now coming back to our landing page again, the last section we'll be going into is local nurseries. So here I've embedded some web pages of local nurseries where I've gotten my plants. So my favorite is Jordan's Jungle. This is very close by in Pawtucket, a really great selection of plants, and they also have really good sales. Then here we have Briggs, which is in North Attleboro in Massachusetts, another great spot. I actually have not been to this one here, but they have great reviews on Google. And then finally, the Providence Flea Market is a spot where I've gotten a lot of plants. That's not a nursery per se, but it's a great spot. They are outdoors during the summer and then indoor at Farm Fresh Market in Olneyville during the fall. So I hope that you think you have a better understanding of houseplants after watching this presentation, and thank you for your time.